Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, all together please. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dinati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Sarvadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhana Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Paditanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Gita Upanishad as it is, translation and commentary, Srila Prabhupada, text 24 of chapter 13, chapter entitled Nature, the Enjoyer and Consciousness. Yes. "24, correct? I was informed such. Okay, please repeat. Ya evam veti purusham prakritim chagunai saha savata vartamano pi sa na sa bhuyo vijayate ya evam veti purusham prakritim cha gunai saha savata vartamanopi na sa bhuyo vijayate. So, word for word, please repeat. Yaha, anyone who, evam, thus, veti, understands, Purasham, the living entity, Prakritim, material nature, Cha, and Gunai, the modes of material nature, Saha, with, Sarvata, in all ways, Vartamanaha, being situated, Api, in spite of, Na, never, Saha, he, Bhuya, again, Abhijayate, takes his birth. So, translation Srila Prabhupada. One who understands this philosophy concerning the material nature, the living entity and the interaction of the modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. Please repeat. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interactions of the modes of nature, is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. Purport Srila Prabhupada. Clear understanding of material nature, the supersoul, the individual soul, and their interrelation makes one eligible to become liberated and turn to the spiritual atmosphere without being forced to return to this material nature. This is the result of knowledge. The purpose of knowledge is to understand distinctly that the living entity has by chance fallen into this material existence. By his personal endeavor, in association with authorities, saintly persons, and a spiritual master, he has to understand his position and then revert to spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness by understanding Bhagavad-Gita as it is, explained by the personality of Godhead. Then it is certain that he will never come again into this material existence. He will be transferred to the spiritual world for a blissful life, a blissful eternal life of knowledge. Very nice purport, clear and to the point. Mukam karochi vachalam pangam laite girim yad kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurun dinatarinam. Sa evam vetipurasham bakritim sa gunai saha savata vatamano pi nasa bhuyo bijayate. One who understands this philosophy concerning the material nature, the living entity, and the interaction of the modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. Yes, so Krishna is summarizing here the very important knowledge that he's just given to Arjuna in the previous section. If you remember, 6 things Arjuna asked about at the beginning of the book. One is, what is Purusha and what is Prakriti? The other one was, what is Chaitra and what is Chaitragyan, the field and the knower of the field. And then, what is the process of knowledge and the object of knowledge, or the end of knowledge, right? Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, I want to know about Prakriti, nature, and Purusha, the enjoyer. So Prakriti is the material nature in this context. So Krishna's energy is divided into 3. The Chit Shakti, this is Vishnu Paran, the Chit Shakti, spiritual energy, the Achit Shakti, the material energy. Achit means unconscious, Chit means conscious. So this material energy is unconscious. And then the third category is the Jiva, the Tatastha Shakti. He's between the two. He is spiritual, but he can go to the material side. When he goes to the material side in a mood of the enjoyer, then he thinks he's Purusha. But really, the only real Purusha is Krishna. But the living entity, when he forgets the Supreme Lord under the influence of the Maya Shakti, illusion. What is illusion? It's taking something to be something else. We think this material nature, when we become Purusha, enjoyer, we think that this is enjoyable. But it's not. It's not enjoyable by us. It's Prakriti, it's Achit. We're conscious beings, but we're trying to enjoy something which is unconscious. Whereas really we should be enjoying something conscious. Therefore, the real enjoyment in the material world is not by getting material things, but it is by interacting with other conscious beings. No man is an island, they say. When we want to enjoy, we want to associate with our conscious friends. If you live all by yourself and you just surround yourself with cement and concrete and stone, how much can you enjoy? So even in this gives us a hint that we're actually meant to enjoy with the Supreme Conscious Being, Krishna, Chaitanas Chaitananam, and in a spiritual atmosphere. That will be our real home, that's our real enjoyment. But by interacting with the material energy starts to overwhelm us. So we associate with the gross material energy, but there's also a subtle effect, and that is the modes of material nature. They are in goodness, passion, and ignorance. So we see basically there's three kinds of people that we can interact with. The bad type people, they're just like animals, they just want to enjoy, they have no knowledge, they're undisciplined, so many bad qualities are there. Then there's passionate people. They're full of energy, they want to enjoy. And then there is the mode of goodness type people. They're sober, intelligent, well-behaved, considerate, so on and so. So basically you can see these three modes. The interaction is the word in today's verse. If we perform good activities, if we're truthful, and we help people, we're interacting with the mode of goodness, and there's a sense of material happiness. If we interact on the mode of passion, then we try to enjoy wine, women, and song. Right? We try to enjoy intoxication perhaps, but not excessively. We try to enjoy sex life or status in society. Dhanam, Janam, we try it, and Sundaram. But the problem with that is that if it's performed in the material without regulation, then we become in the mode of ignorance. So therefore we see that people who take, for example, intoxication, at the beginning say they're going to the English wine shop and they're drinking alcohol, they feel very good. Oh, I feel happy. But this is illusion. The next morning they're feeling awful. I've got a pain in my head, my stomach's not good, I have no energy. So this is tamagun. So if we understand how we interact with the modes of material nature, Krishna is explaining the interaction. If you understand that, then you know I should avoid, and we have the four regulative principles. Meat eating. This is tamagun. If you eat meat, it will develop violence in your system. It's not sattvic. If you take intoxication, even tea and coffee, you'll become addicted. And this will be bad for your consciousness. You'll get addicted to alcohol, and then you'll drink a little wine, but then you'll be drinking every day, and you'll be having a drink in the morning, and then you'll be going into the mode of ignorance. And then people who are in the mode of ignorance, then they take more intoxication, they have mental problems, they become undisciplined, they sleep, they take drugs instead of food, they die very young. So then they go into the mode of ignorance. But so you might think, oh, well, they died and anyway it's all over. But we understand the living entity, if you understand this philosophy, that we are Kshetragyam. We are, as Krishna says, this is the second two, we are the knower of the field. This body is like our field. We don't say I body, we say my body. No sane person will say, I hand or I finger. He'll say, my finger, my hand. So nobody, even a farmer, he doesn't think, I field, I am the field. No, he thinks this is my farm, my field. So even this knowledge in the human form, even in our language, we understand that we are separate from the body, right? Just like if our mother or father or friend or uncle dies, we say, oh, the body is there, but we say, oh, my father has gone. So in the human form of life, we can easily understand that we're not the body. It's intuitive knowledge. We understand, even our language. But because people are not educated, this ability of the human being to understand, I'm not the body, I'm the driver within the body, isn't developed, especially in the modern day. Because in the modern day, everyone is just enjoy, wine, women and song, whatever, pay your taxes, and when you die it's all over. Atheism. So in this mentality they become in the mode of ignorance. So if you develop mode of ignorance, then you'll go into lower species of life. You'll go into the animal kingdom. You'll become an animal. You'll be born in some low species as a dog or a pig, or even lower, a rat or a mouse, all the way down to little ants and germs. So wherever there's a living entity, there's a spirit soul. And we see, like, even if you see an ant, he has everything. He wants to eat, he wants to sleep, he sleeps at night, maybe comes out in the day. He has his sex life with the queen ant or whatever kind of ant he is, I don't know. And if you try and knock the ground, he'll run away. He'll defend himself by running away. So he's just a tiny little ant. But he is thinking, feeling and willing, trying to eat, sleep, mate, defend. He's trying to do all these things. Even the germs, right? You in a petri dish, you will see some germs, and then the scientist comes along and he puts another germ in there and they fight. The other germ tries to run away, right? And you can see, we all studied chemistry a little bit, or biology. So there's eating and sleeping, mating and defending, even at the lower species. But that is because of the soul. It's not because of the body. It's because of the soul. So if you perform low, ignorant activities, dark activities, then you become in a low species, low animal. Krishna says in the Gita, those that are envious and mischievous, I continually cast into lowest species of life, where they take birth amongst the most abominable conditions. So there's a whole variety of interaction with the modes. You might be just a fool that became an alcoholic, so then you will come up slowly. But you might be an alcoholic who became violent and a thief and so on to get money. So he will go to hell. He will go even darker. We're talking in general terms, it all depends. But then if somebody in the mode of passion, maybe they're a musician, they play good music, they have lots of friends, they give in charity, they may be born again in earth Bhumandala somewhere and continue with their attachment to music. But then somebody may be a good materialist and he gives in charity, he helps people, he opens a hospital, he is good to people, but he's not spiritual in a sense, but he believes in God. So then he goes to Swargaloka and higher realms. But then there may be somebody who also doesn't believe in God, but he wants to help humanity. He wants to do humanitarian work. So then he opens a hospital, he gives in charity, he's made money through business, he gives it to good causes, but he doesn't believe in God. So then he goes to the lower planetary systems, heavenly planetary systems, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, where there is heavenly enjoyment, but there's no mention of God. There's just so in the heavenly, in Swargalok, this is the heavenly region also, of course, but everyone there is a devotee. So they're a mixture of devotion and mode of goodness, kind activities, so they will go up there. But there's that verse. What is that verse? Yanti deva vrata devam pritrin yantri pritri vrata. Yanti bhuteja bhuteja yanti mam yachiyopi mam. So Krishna sums up this interaction. He says, those that worship the devas, they go to the Devaloka, the place of the devas. They may worship Indra or Lakshmi or Indra or even Lord Shiva or something. They'll go to a heavenly region. And then those that worship the Pritris, or they worship their forefathers, they may go to Pritri Loka, which is near lower, but it's a heavenly status, mode of passion. They perform the Pritri Puja. What is it called? When they worship the forefathers. They do it at Kesi on the certain days. Shraddha. Yeah, they offer sesame seeds and sugar. I've seen them doing it on special days, and this is a worship of the forefathers. It maintains the forefathers in the heavenly region of Pritri-loka. So they may be attached, they may go there and live with their forefathers, and it's a heavenly region and so on. And they train their son to also perform Shraddha ceremony. You can go to Kesi, I've seen it a number of times on the special days, and you offer, and then you can go to Pritri-loka. But also now that's taken place in a sense now. People don't worship the forefathers, they worship pop singers, or, right? Or they worship cricket players, and he's like a god to me. So they learn all about the latest cricket scores, or what their favorite cricket player has for breakfast, or something like that. So I don't know where they go. They don't go to Pritri-loka. They may take birth in a cricket ground, or as a bird and watch the match, or something like that. But then those who worship ghosts and spirits, right? The black magic, or witches, or voodoo, or all these black tantric people, they worship ghosts and spirits, and they get Shakti. I was in Mombasa for quite a period, and they have ghost gurus. The Muslims, mainly, you can go to the ghost guru. We didn't do that, of course. And these are stories I heard. And you pay something to the ghost guru. He's controlling different ghosts and spirits, and he performs yagyas to these ghosts and spirits, and then he can send them. For example, if you have a business rival, you may ask the ghost guru to destroy his business. So, right, in India they still do these kind of things, right? The tantrics.
Mostly in villages.
Huh?
Mostly in villages.
Sorry?
Mostly in villages.
Yeah, it's tamasic. It's dangerous. Because if you do these things, it comes back on you. For some, you may get some short-term advantage, and and get your business rival sick or something, but it can come back on. This pendulum swings one way and then the pendulum swings back. So yes, those things in the villages in Africa, they allow the ghost to enter the body. Say there's all sorts of mentions in the Vedas about pretas, pichashas, yakshas. They want to enjoy this gross plane, but they can't. So these people who are adept in this knowledge, they allow the ghost to come in their body, and the ghost drinks alcohol and has sex even maybe, and this way the ghost becomes attached to that person in the same way, and then the ghost can will act on your behalf, maybe cause an accident or a fire in your enemy, or you can ask the ghost, please make this beautiful girl fall in love with me, or something like this. There's a whole variety. I'm not an expert, but you hear these stories, correct? So even in the West, they know this is called black magic, or voodoo in Africa, and so on. Tantra in managing ghosts and spirits. But if you do that, if that's how you spend your time, then you will take birth in that area. You'll take birth. You're associating with the ghosts and spirits in Tamagun, and then you will have to pay the bill by becoming a ghost and spirit yourself. But then Krishna says, however, those that worship me, they come to me. They, Janmakama Tame Divyam, if you worship Krishna and Radharani and the devotees and Guru and Vedavyas and the spiritual people, Lord Chaitanya in this age, and you chant Hare Krishna and you live sattvic life, then you'll go to Krishna. So this is understanding, as today's verse, the interaction of the modes of material nature. So we are thinking we're enjoyer, but we're not. But if we want to enjoy, we should, even the Vedas say, well, enjoy in a regulated way, and then you can go to heaven. Right? And then you can enjoy, you can hear the apsaras sing, and you can hear the heavenly instruments, and there's no factories there, there's no tax officer. It's all very beautiful, but it's like being on holiday. You may go to a very nice place in India or in the South Pacific and stay in a very expensive hotel, and everyone will come, the waiter will come and bring you orange juice in the morning and papaya in the afternoon, and you'll go swimming in the ocean clear and coconut trees, it's beautiful. But as soon as you've got no money, they tell you, hey, get out of the hotel. You're not paying the bill. Your money has run out. And then you have to go back to your place and go back to the factory or office and work again. So you're burning off your karma in a good way, but in the same way, if you take birth in the ghosts and spirits, then you'll be burning off your karma also. But then you'll gradually come up through the lower species to the human species. And it's explained in the Bhagavatam that those that enter human species through the mode of ignorance, they take birth as monkeys. Those that worship, that enter human species from the mode of passion, they enter through like the lions and the tigers and the leopards, though they're in the mode of passion. And those that enter the human species through the mode of goodness, or a touch of the mode of goodness, they enter through cows or useful animals, and then they enter human species in that way. So these are general principles. But it is all very important to understand it, because when we have this knowledge, the natural effect is, hey, I'd better stop being a drunkard. I'd better stop I'd better stop worshipping the cricket stars. I'd better try to worship the mode of goodness. I should be charitable. I should be honest. I should cultivate the mode of goodness. And from the mode of goodness, I can go to, I can worship Krishna and become transcendental. So this is a great science. So this is the start. Krishna explains that don't try to be a Purusha because you can't enjoy. Don't try to be you're the knower of the field of this body, but don't plant bad seeds, right? This body is like a field, Kshetra means field, Kshetra Gyan means knower of the field. So I'm the farmer of this body, you can say, this field. So if I plant rubbish in the field, then I'll get a rubbish result. But if I plant good foods and good fruits, then I'll get a good fruit. So this is the result. But then the other two things that Arjuna asked Krishna is, what is the end of knowledge and what is the process of knowledge? Because as soon as you understand, I'm the knower of this body, I'm the knower of the field that this body is, then you think, well, then what's the real thing I should be doing? So that's in the other two. The knower, what is knowledge and what is the object of knowledge? So that is very important. The process of knowledge, it'll be expanded later in the Gita. There's three. There's the Gyatva, the knower, Jnanam, knowledge, the process of knowledge, and then there's the object of knowledge, Jnayam. So just like I'm the knower, I want to know music, but then there's a process of knowing music, and then there's music itself. What is music? What is harmony? What is rhythm? So there's the process of learning music, and then there's a person. So the three things are there: the knower, the process, and the object. So if we understand that Krishna is also the knower of the field, you see here it says the field and the knower of the field, but the knower of the field is two. It's Krishna and Paramatma. Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. So in the Upanishads, very famous verse, it explains that the body is like a tree, and there's two birds in this tree. One is the individual soul, and he's trying to enjoy the fruit of the tree, or the fruit of the field. And so he's very busy trying to perform activities to get some fruit. This is called fruitive activities. He's performing karma for his own benefit. He's working in a factory to get a salary. He's working in an office to get a salary. He's opening a business to get a good result from his business. So he's trying to get a fruit. So he's enjoying the fruit of the tree or the fruit of the field. But there's another bird in the tree of the body, and that is Supersoul. And Supersoul, the Upanishads explain, is waiting for that individual bird, individual soul to turn to him. Instead of trying to enjoy the fruit of the tree, what you should do is, you'll perform activities in this world, but you should take the fruit and offer it to Krishna, to Paramatma. and then you can enjoy, purified. Just like we make prasadam, what do? We take carrots and mode of goodness, vegetables and fruits, but we don't eat them straight away. We prepare a meal, we offer it to Krishna with devotion, patram pushvam phalam toyam. He accepts it, and then the food is spiritualized. And then we take the prasadam and we become spiritualized. Whereas if we take the same things and just eat it, then we don't become spiritualized. We take the karma, because even if you're a vegetarian, you're killing carrots, you're killing potatoes. There's so many vegetables that have to be killed before they're cooked. You're pulling the carrot out of the ground. You're pulling the beetroot out of the ground. So then you have a karmic load. But if you offer everything to Krishna, then it's purified of karma, because you're offering it to Krishna. So therefore, the most secret knowledge is manmana. We train the mind to think of Krishna, bhavamad bhakto, in a devotional way, majjaji. We do all our activities as an offering to Krishna. And then mam namaskuru, and we offer in a humble manner. Oh Krishna, I'm earning money, but I'm giving you a portion for good activity. I'm buying food, but I'm offering it to you. And in this way we become purified. So this is the science, as today's verse explains. And it starts with understanding Purusha Prakriti, Chaitra and Chaitragya, there's two. But then we should also understand what is the object of knowledge. And that is the Supreme Transcendental Lord. And the process we discussed sometimes, Krishna gives 20. And if you remember, it starts, there's 20 items, and the first item of knowledge is humility. Now this is very important, because humility is the start of knowledge. But what is humility? This is a question. Does it mean going around like this all the time? No, humility is reality. You see, false ego, ahankara, is often called false pride, false conception of myself. But humility is based on having a real conception of myself, that I am servant of the Supreme. Jivera Swarupoi Nichera Krishna Das. That we are all servants of Krishna. That's the reality. Mavai Vangsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. That we're the answer of Krishna. And as such, we are meant to connect with Krishna. Just like this finger. If it's disconnected, it's not serving the body. But if this finger is serving the mouth, putting food in the mouth, then the energy from the stomach goes to the finger, and it's useful. So a spirit soul who's not connected to the Supreme is like a finger that's cut off from the hand. He's just trying to enjoy, but he can't enjoy. But the finger, if he feeds the mouth and the stomach, then he enjoys. He's in his natural condition. So this is the science of, so the super soul is there. Just like we say in black magic, people conjure up ghosts and spirits and rakshasa and different entities, and they try to enjoy through manipulating these. But if we, but Krishna is everywhere, super soul. Chaitanas Nityo Nityanam, Chaitanas Chaitananam, Eko Yo Dadati Kaman. So that one supreme conscious being is fulfilling the desires of all the other living entities. Everything is resting on the super soul, like pearls are strung upon a thread. So Krishna is completely available. Just like if you're in a tree, now it's raining, two two people are sitting under the tree, sheltering from the rain. So they're just next door to each other. So the super soul and the individual soul are right next to each other. So Krishna is completely available, but through understanding our relationship, that is the start, humility. Instead of thinking I'm Purusha of this world, I can enjoy this world by getting money, position in society, having a fancy house and lots of women. Instead of thinking that I'm going to enjoy in this way, which is always a failure, because you're going to lose it all at the time of death anyway. And as we say, if you try and enjoy through exploiting other living entities, through starting wars for profit, for building a big house on the back of the labor of others, and they're dying and you're just building your fancy house, then you have a karmic load and you will have to suffer, you'll have to pay it off. And that is speaking lightly. With nowadays, people are ready to kill to enjoy, and so on and so forth. It's wars, and they do it. So they will go to the darkest regions of hell, and then they'll be born in low species, and it may take millions of lifetimes before they come to human life and have the chance to understand that the object of knowledge is the super soul, Krishna, Paramatma, Bhagavan. So in that list, humility is the beginning, and the last one is philosophical search for the absolute truth. You can look it up. The first item of knowledge is humility, to accept myself, I'm a spirit soul. And the object of knowledge is Krishna, and I should philosophically inquire. And there's no book like the Bhagavad-Gita, right? We're all studying Bhagavad-Gita, you're all coming every night, we're studying, hearing Prabhupada's lectures, and every time you hear a lecture you learn something more, because we're in tune with the unlimited spiritual world, right? And we're getting a taste. And the important thing, well, at least it's all important, but what caught my mind in the purport, if you remember, that if we pursue this knowledge of the interaction, one who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interaction of the modes of nature, is sure to attain liberation. He'll not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. Therefore, just before the class, we were quoting that, we were discussing that verse. Armed with the weapon of knowledge, Krishna tells Arjuna, stand and fight. Fight to become in the mode of goodness, in the mode of transcendence, through sadhana bhakti, through following rules and regulations, chanting regularly, studying regularly. This knowledge gives you power over, because here in the purport, you see this? Clear understanding of Prabhupada's expanding on the verse, clear understanding of material nature, the super soul, the individual soul, and their interrelation, makes one eligible to become liberated and turn to the spiritual atmosphere without being forced to return to this material nature. So you become, you see, there's two sides to a coin. There's the negative and there's the positive, you can say. So if you gain spiritual knowledge, the negative, which is your attachment to material life, you'll become detached. You'll lose attachment, because you'll understand, I'm not this body, and I've been trying to enjoy, and I'm not satisfied. But now I understand I'll never be satisfied in the material world, right? And therefore you have these trillionaires. There's people with $1 trillion or $1 billion, and they still want more. They're still trying to make more business. They have $50 trillion or $100 trillion, and they still want to make more money, because they think if I have another $1 trillion, I'll be more happy. But no, it doesn't work like that. You can enjoy a certain amount, right? And if you just like you can eat a certain amount, and you can enjoy in this way, talking materially, but if you eat too much, you become sick, is it not? It's not that, oh, I'll have 1 tully and I feel good, I feel strong, therefore I'll have 2 tullies and I'll feel double strength. No, if you have 2 tullies, you'll become sick. If you have 1 rasgula and 1 rasamalai, you'll feel great. But if you have 10, you'll feel sick. So you have to enjoy in a regulated way. Therefore, Vamana, he only asked for 3 steps of land. That means that's enough to lay your head and sleep. You can put your head as a pillow or a bag as a pillow, and that's all you need in this world. Because when you're asleep, it doesn't matter if you're in the palace or under the tree. You don't know where you are. So and of course in Kali Yuga now we're being trained by all these demoniac people to just enjoy, buy this, get this, do that, do this, get this. Why? Because they're making money off us, right? And they say women's liberation, right? What is women's liberation? It's just double the workforce, so women are now working, they're not looking after the children. Of course, it's not like this in India, thank God. They still believe in the family. But then, if all the women are working, then the prices are lower, and the big business people can make more money. It's always about money with the asura, how I can get more money. That's what Krishna, how much wealth can I get today? More and more. So, this is the foolishness. But if you have knowledge, then you think, Ishavasya idam sarvam, everything is controlled by Supreme Lord. Whatever comes to me naturally, that is my quota, right? Some person may get $1 million, I may be just getting $1,000. Let it come. Let me use it nicely. Let me not get carried away. If I have $1 million, great. Then I'll print lots of books and I'll distribute them. I'll open a kitchen and I'll distribute prasadam and I'll do all these wonderful things. But I'll just take a plate of prasadam out of the whole bucket. So this is the Krishna conscious system, that we don't we enjoy prasadam in a regulated way, but only after we've offered to Krishna, this way. And so in this way, just like there's a great hospital here, up the road, built by one great Maharaj, so many donations came to him, and what did he do? He built a great hospital. And now the sadhus are going there, they're getting treatment, nice treatment, so he's getting eternal benefit. So this is intelligence, this is the intelligent way to live. And just like Bali Maharaj, he had managed to conquer the universe, but then he offered everything to Krishna. But then he got everything back. But he also got bhava, he also got prem by offering to Krishna. So this is actually the science of human life. But here, this is the result. If you gain this knowledge, then it's your permanent asset. This is the point. Once your soul develops to a certain level of realization, it's always that side. It's eternal benefit. You may lose your practice for 1 month or 2 months. You may go away for even one lifetime or two. Like Ajamil is the story in the he was a good Brahmin boy when he was, but then he fell away from spiritual practice. But then at the time of death, his underlying spiritual position awoken, and he remembered Narayan. And then he took up sadhana and developed prem. So it becomes your permanent, it makes you turn away. If you get knowledge, even though you may be still conditioned to enjoy in the material world, but still you can't really, you're still, So if you keep up your practice, then gradually all the anartha goes away, and then you can turn fully to the spiritual platform. And so just on this point, and this is very important, because in the Ishopanishad it's put very nicely. This mantra 11. Vidyam cha vidyam. Cha yes tadvedo bayam saha. Avidyaya mritam tirtva vidyatam amritam ashnute. Only one who can learn the process of nescience and that of transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessing of immortality. So this is Veda Vyas. He's saying you should understand what is Maya, and at the same time you should understand transcendental knowledge. So Prabhupada is saying you'll turn away from material energy if you understand, Krishna is saying here, you'll turn away from the material energy if you have this knowledge of Prakriti, Purusha, Chaitra, Gyan, knowledge and the object of knowledge. You'll turn away from the Maya Shakti, and then you should learn the spiritual atmosphere. And this is mantra 14. There's a couple of good mantras in between, but this is the point here. Sambhutim cha vinasam cha tad yastad vedo bayam saha vinashena mritum tirtva sambhut amritam ashnute. One should perfectly know the personality of Godhead and his transcendental name, as well as the temporary material creation with its temporary demigods, men and animals. When one knows these, he surpasses death and the ephemeral cosmic manifestation with it, and in the eternal kingdom of God, he enjoys his eternal life of bliss and knowledge. So, sambhutim cha vinasam cha. So that means you should know the Supreme Lord, you should understand, and that's the 10th canto. Krishna's Leela is fully elucidated, leading up to the Rasa Leela. You should understand, but you should also understand how this material energy is, with its temporary demigods and animals and humans. You should know both. So, we're discussing Chaitra Gyan and the mistake of trying to enjoy in this material world. So here is the object, here is the description given by the head of our sampradaya of the spiritual world. Like I say, it's there in the 10th canto, Krishna Leela, right? So this is text number 56. Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kaltaravo. Right, there's 2 long verses. So I'll read the translation. And this should be what we fix our mind upon when we become detached from Maya. We give up Maya, but then, okay, I'm not interested in Maya anymore. What the football team is doing or the cricket match. Now I want to understand the Supreme Lord's abode. So here's the summation. I worship that transcendental seat known as Svetadvip, where as loving consorts, the Lakshmis, the gopis, in their unalloyed spiritual essence, they're all pure bhaktas, practice the amorous service of the Supreme Lord Krishna as their only lover, where every tree is a transcendental purpose tree, where the soil is the purpose gem, where all water is nectar, every word is a song, every gait is a dance, the flute is the favorite attendant, effulgence is full of transcendental bliss, and the supreme spiritual entities are all enjoyable and tasty, where numberless milk cows always emit transcendental oceans of milk, where there is eternal existence of transcendental time, who is ever present and without past or future, and hence is not subject to the quality of passing away, even for the space of half a moment. That realm is known as Goloka, only to a very few self-realized souls in this world. So here's the description of the spiritual realm. We're learning that the Maya Shakti, with its temporary demigods and animals, the interaction with the modes of nature, that is, will give us detachment from material lusty activity. But then we should study, once we're having this detachment, we should try to understand the spiritual platform. What it's like in Golok. These verses here by Lord Brahma in the Brahma Samhita, they give an introduction. And then the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, the Ras Leela, the Braj Leela, this is Gokul Vrindavan, manifested here in Vrindavan. And they give us an introduction to the spiritual world. So then we want to read Nectar of Devotion, and we learn about the 64 qualities of Krishna. We learn what is the emotions, their unselfish desire to serve in the transcendental world. And by meditating upon these things, that awakens our qualification to go there. You understand? So it's not good enough just to say, I'm giving up Maya. I'm going to tie my cope in very tight, and I'm going to give up meat eating, intoxication, I'm going to chant Hare Krishna, and I'm going to be staunch devotee. No, that's very good. But you won't be able to keep that for a long time unless you're also, in your heart, the realization of Krishna Loka, Gokul, Goloka, is blossoming. So that means that you should, under supervision, Shiksha Guru, under Gaunitai, under the Panchatattva, under the Acharyas, Vishwanath Chakravarti has written the Krishna Bhavanamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote the Govinda Leelamrita, and then there's the Sanak Kumar Samhita. That is also a summation of the Astakala Leela of Golok. So this should be our study once we have detached ourselves from the Maya Shakti by knowledge that this place is unsatisfactory. It's a temporary place full of birth, death, old age and disease. Just like we're suffering from the heat, right? It was very hot this year. Now we're going to suffer from the rain, you can say. And then the winter will come and we'll suffer. We'll say, oh, I wish it was hot season again. So in this world there's always disturbance in the material world. Therefore Krishna spoke the Bhagavad-Gita on Kurukshetra, on the battlefield. He didn't speak it in the palace. With Draupadi bringing nice cool drinks and lemon soda Arjuna, you should give up attachment to the material world. What do you mean, Krishna? Look how beautiful is Draupadi, and this lemon soda is wonderful. No, it was a battlefield. Because the material world is a struggle for existence, is it not? Huh? If you look inside, the doctor will say you are infected by a disease. You must fight it off. Huh? The person living across the road from you tries to make trouble for you. It's a struggle. But that's small things. But then sometimes there is huge wars and people are fighting each other to control this land or that land. There's always a struggle. Huh? And as you get older, you realize that it's always got a struggle. You overcome one problem and then another one comes, right? So this material world, it's always, therefore Krishna says, Devi Shagunamayi Mama Maya Drurachaya Mama Eva Ye Prapadyante Tamsteva Bhajamiyaham. This material nature is very difficult to overcome. It's made of the modes of material nature. But those that surrender unto me can easily cross beyond it. Right? Because Krishna is Parameshwara. So if we take shelter of the Supreme Lord, then he sees, this person is not interested in trying to enjoy in the material world. Now he wants to come to me. He wants eternal life in the spiritual plane. That's his home. And that's why it is a struggle, actually. Because eventually we, especially in the human life, is meant to understand we can't enjoy in this world. Huh? It's always a struggle. The animal, for example, the lions, they capture one pride of lionesses, right? And they enjoy being the king lions. Two brothers maybe chase off the other lions. But then they get older. And then two nomadic lions who are full of, just coming out of adolescence, they chase off those lions, right? And then they get chased off. So that's what we see in the material world, right? There's always an individual and a collective struggle to enjoy the material world. But you can't. As Ravana, he wanted to enjoy Sita. He didn't want to serve Ram. Bibhishan, his brother, was intelligent. He said, I'm not going to fight for Ram. He's a Rakshasa. He's snatched Sita, but he can't touch Sita. Sita is not his to enjoy. But Ravana was destroyed and Bibhishan became the devotee of Ram. Of course, this is Leela. We know that Ravana is Jayan Vijay, Kumbhakarna, Jayan Vijay. This is the Leela. But this is to illustrate that this material world is always a struggle. But we should be like Bibhishan. We should be like Arjuna and surrender to the Lord. And then we perform our material duties at the beginning as an offering to Krishna. And Krishna tells Arjuna, armed with the weapon of knowledge, stand and fight. So we're all on the battlefield of this material world. And we should realize that whatever we try to get in this material world, even if we hold it for a lifetime, at the time of death it's gone. So the material world is designed in that way, so that the spirit souls that have come to this material world to forget the Supreme Lord and enjoy, they realize, what am I doing? This is useless. Maybe I should go to the eternal plane. But that person is very rare, you see. Vasudeva Savamiti Samahatma Sadolabha Mahatmanastamam Patha Devim Prakritim Ashritaha. But Lord Chaitanya has made it very easy in Kali Yuga. What do? We read Bhagavatam, we read Gita, we hear the words of the Acharyas, and we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And we also chant Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Surma, right? And we pull, just like he is pulling us to the spiritual world by his attractive nature, we pull him to Kundicha, which is Gupta Vrindavan, because he wants to enjoy in Gupta Vrindavan Gambhira Mandir. He wants to enjoy there with Sri Radha without the awe and reverence of being big Jagannath, the Lord of the world. So we serve Krishna, and he accepts us into the spiritual world. So Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Shudasan Maharaja ki Jai. We'll finish on that point. Any questions? Points of any contributions? Everyone clear? Okay then. Sadhu Sangha Sri Jagannath Rathayatra ki Jai. Bhagavad-Gita ki Jai.